Yeah, it was a group of 8 girls, and Jasmin was one of them.
Yes.
So she's been licensed and working for the last 2 years.
Yes.
And it's crazy.
It's crazy. Yeah.
So I came in to Charlottesville. She's in Charlottesville, Virginia. Visit her studio. She has a beautiful space, which I'll show you in a second. And I kind of just want to, pick her brain and see what she's been up to since class.
Okay.
Has she been working or not? And, that kind of stuff. What did you do after taking the class?
Yeah, so after your class, by the way, the class was great. I learned so much from Marina. Until this day, like if I have questions, she answers them. If I have any doubts, she's always
Might
there.
take a few business days, but
she's there when you need her.
Yeah.
So after class, I took my licensing test. Probably 2 weeks after I finished the class because I didn't want.
Yeah, you did it right away.
Yeah, I didn't want to wait because I wanted all that information fresh in my head.
Which is a good idea. You don't want to wait for 6 months because you're gonna forget everything.
Yes. So right away I took my licensing test. I passed my first time.
Yes.
And so that was September, right after I finished. And then I opened up my studio in December. So a few months later.
Okay. Yeah.
I started getting everything ready, prepping and found the studio.
That was the studio.
Yes.
You didn't. Okay.
Yeah. So a few months later, I opened up. I opened up December 1st, and I have been working ever since.
Yeah.
I have not stopped working since I opened up December 1st.
A lot of potential students are worried that they're not going to be able to find clients, which is understandable. It's very scary situation, right? Spend all that money and get the place, sign a lease,
What do you do now?
and then
How do you get your clients?
yeah, what are you gonna do? So what would you say worked for you in the beginning? Like, what have you done to get your first clients?
Yeah, so at the beginning, even if I didn't feel confident in my work, I was still posting.
Yeah.
I was still posting on story. Social media is a job in itself.
Yes.
But it gets you the clients that you want, right? So I was posting my work even though I didn't feel comfortable with it, 100%. I'm I'm going to post. Someone's going to like my work.
Yeah.
And so I was constantly, still to this day, I try to, always be on social media, posting, my work on stories and on, your feed. And I feel like that's how people started kind of noticing who I was, And
Did you have a lot of followers when you started?
no, I didn't. I had
Do you remember?
a few hundred, maybe maybe 200 followers.
Yeah,
300
probably.
followers. I mean, I'm still not high up there, but I'm close to 2,000 followers now.
Yeah, but also you can be fully booked with just 1,000 followers.
100%. Yeah.
Having 100,000 followers doesn't mean that you're gonna be booked. So that's a big misconception because you can have 1,000 followers or less and you can be booked.
Oh, yeah.
It's about the content that you post, not amount of followers. Because you can buy followers and people do that and they're bots. They're not gonna book with you.
No.
So those are not gonna really bring you any business.
Yeah. So I was posting, every day and always active on my social media page, even though I didn't feel 100% comfortable with my work yet.
Yeah. Which is a lie because her work was good.
Then I feel like people kind of started telling others. Once I would get a client in the chair, that's when the word of mouth started happening. And so then I noticed it was kind of less social media clients and more
referrals.
Referrals,
Yeah.
and word of mouth. And they tell your friends, the mom, the dad, everyone.
Yeah.
And that's how that started happening. And I feel like now it's 50% social media, 50% referrals.
Yeah. I would say that's 100% how it was for me when I started because you just need to get a few people in the beginning, and if you do a good job, your client service is good, their experience is good, they're gonna recommend you to other people, which will grow from one happy client to like another 10, and then that one person will bring another 10.
Yeah.
But how did you get those initial, like, let's say first 10 people?
So I made a deal with these first 5. It
Yes,
was 5.
5, okay.
5 women that I did not charge.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it was completely free.
Mm-hmm.
But I said, once I finish your brows, you have to bring me at least one new person.
Mm-hmm.
And I had one of them brought me like her whole family. I think it was like 6 women.
Okay.
Just from her.
Just one person.
Just one person.
Yeah.
And then my other friend, it was like 4 that she brought, 4 or 5. And so that's kind of how I started getting the ball rolling. Yeah.
That's very good. I would even make it a little bit different. I would say, bring me 2 people, and I'll do your service for free. Because that will actually motivate them to bring you those people quicker to get that free service. So sometimes that might work. So you can try both ways. But I did that with when I started with the hairstylist that was working in the same like suites. I told her, you know what, like, I know you want me to do your brows, so like bring me 2 clients and I'll do your service for free. And then we did that. But then after that, she brought me so many clients after. And I mean, because she was happy, and people asked like, oh, your brows look good. Who did your brows? And then I offer referral cards too for like $25 off. So I would give her like a stack of them, and she would give it to her clients. So they would come, they would get $25 off, and then she would get $25 towards her next service. So when she came back for like her annual touch-up, it was free. Because she brought so many people.
I did her 2-year touch-up.
Yeah.
And she's like, I want to do my lips. She's like, I can bring you so many people. I'm like, okay, great.
Yeah.
Bring me, so-and-so, however many people, and I will do your lip for free.
Yeah.
And she was like, okay, got it.
Yeah.
And so far she's sent me 3 people already.
Yeah, and that's what I'm actually working on now. I want to get some new referral cards. Like, it's almost like, what is it called? Like, oh my God, what's the name of it? Like affiliate link.
Okay.
So you can register online. So I need to figure it out. I'll let you know how that works.
Yeah. Okay.
But then basically, they will, like, you can give those referral cards to anyone. Doesn't matter if they're clients or not clients. And then they will give it to people. And then when those people book, they use that specific code. Like for that, like for example, would be Jasmin 25 or something like that. So they would use that, and then on your account, it will register as like $25. And then more people use your coupon code that will like give you more money, and then you can get a free service. So those things like work really well too. So for anyone new, so you feel like that was worth it, like you know, taking the class and learning, and like, was it a good career choice for you?
So I've told you I was a stay-at-home mom. Before that, I worked in surgery. Yeah. Stayed at home with the girls for 3 years, and then when my little one was 6 months, I was like, what am I doing? Like, I needed a creative outlet. I needed to do something for myself because I completely lost myself. And so I was like, permanent makeup. Why not? Yeah. And literally the best decision I've ever made. Like, seriously, like, best decision I've made. I work for myself. I get to be creative. Yeah.
You get to meet a lot of people.
Meet so many different women, like talk to so many different women. Like, you build like a relationship with your clients. It's not just like, hi, doing your brows, bye. Yeah. Like, you get to
But
know
also
them.
the reason why they refer other people, because you actually build like a connection with them. Yeah. Because if you're gonna do your service, like put your headphones in and like just do it quietly without like talking to your client, the chances are they're gonna forget about you as soon as they leave. Yeah. They're not gonna send anyone your way.
No, whole appointment, we're talking as much as we can.
Yes.
And I've had several clients say like, this is one of the best appointments they've ever had in the beauty industry. That feels so good.
It feels so good, right?
It feels so good.
That's why we say like, get the free therapy session with each appointment.
Really?
Because those cost, some serious.
Yeah. I'm a therapist, I'm a makeup artist, I'm like your friend. all the things. But it's great. I love it.
So since taking the class, obviously it's a beginner's class, you can learn everything in like one class. That's just not reasonable. Do you feel like you had to take more classes, or did you want to take new classes, learn new things after, or like how do you look at that?
So with your class, I feel like all of the basics that I needed were there. Like I felt comfortable starting to work on people, you know, on clients. As soon as I finished your class, I was like, okay, we're good. But then, of course, you're on social media and you see so many like
different techniques and
work, and you know, and you're like, well, maybe I want to do that too. But for me, I wanted to perfect what I learned with you first before like
getting something else. Yeah.
I've taken 2 other brow courses, you know, and I feel like it is important to learn from different instructors because
everybody, but everybody teach differently, and then you get like to pick few different takes from. I mean, I've taken so many classes over the years. Just it's nice to see like different perspectives because you kind of build your own style. So for me, I feel like at the year mark, like after I took your classes, when I took another class, and then you know at the next year mark is when I'll take another class. Yeah, so at the end of the year, I want to take another. You actually been back to the studio because Jasmin took the the hair strokes class that we were hosting. Do you feel like that was helpful? Like, have you been doing a lot of hair strokes since?
Yes, so I did a lot of models, hair stroke models, because you know, like you have to perfect your technique. So I did hair stroke models, and I don't get them as often as like a regular powder brow, but now since I know the hair stroke technique, I've incorporated combo brows.
So you do both.
Now I feel like more combo brows than powder brows are being, you know, done. So hair strokes, it's not as many clients as I thought. Yeah. But it's okay.
It's good to have options, right?
Good to have options. I know how to, you know, create that type of brow. But I feel like mostly now it's people wanting the hair strokes in the front and then powder brows.
Yeah. A lot of people wondering, how long does it take to get the money back? Like what the money you invest into the class, how long do you feel like it took you, clients like wise, to kind of
I mean,
make it up?
It's going to be different for everyone, you know, just depending on like how much you're charging and how many clients you're seeing.
Well, in your particular case, what do you think?
I'd say like a good like 8 months.
About 8 months?
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah. I feel like, 8 months is when I was like, okay, wow, I made that money back. Now it's all like
you actually,
yeah,
and then it does take at least, I would say, 6 months for you to just feel more confident
in your work,
so you can charge more, because let's be honest, you can't charge full price from day one. Nobody gonna pay that.
No.
To somebody who's new.
I waited a year to
raise your
really
price,
up my prices. Like but like you said, 6 months I felt comfortable. I'm like, okay, this is good.
Yeah.
Like, you know. And so I increased by a little, and then like at the year I increased again, and at the 2-year mark I increased again.
That's good. Keep increasing it.
You know, come when we started this new year. Yeah, I was like, okay,
Thank you so much for giving me the feedback.
Yes.
I'm sure a lot of people will appreciate you sharing your experience, and I'm also gonna leave Jasmin's Instagram under this video. So if you guys have questions, you can ask her. I'm sure she wouldn't mind.
No,
unless you ask her every day, probably.
No,
she's gonna block you.
I'm always here to answer any questions. It's not easy. Like,
yes, it's not easy.
It's not easy, and you need several people to like have on your team where you can ask, like, hey, what do you think about this? What do you think about that?
Yeah.
Because it's not easy, but if you put in the work.
Yeah. But also, I feel like even like the group of girls that were in your class, I mean, we all like still in touch and talk to each other. And it's nice to be in the group of the same, like people who like interested in the same outcome. so you can like pinpoint
Yeah.
like the ideas
Yeah.
and ask questions.
Yeah.
So you know the groups are small, but you know it helps.
Yeah. I mean, building relationships with the girls that you're in class with.
Yeah.
You know, like you're always gonna have them.
Yeah.
You know.
And you guys
making
don't
them
feel
up.
like you're like competition,
No,
that you're
not at
like,
all.
right?
No, not at all.
So, which is a big thing, because I feel like in my class, like I really try to focus on building relationships versus like think of each other as a competition,
Yeah.
because in this business, we all know it's could be that. So as long as you're
Yeah.
nice to each other, you're always gonna have that support, and you know I'm here to help you if you need it. But also your classmates might be better at something. Maybe one person is better at social media, and the other person is better at like marketing on like other platforms, or another person is better at like photo editing.
Right.
So it's nice to have those people because you can help each other out
You
too.
can help each other out, yeah. I mean, with the girls that I train with, I feel like, I mean, I still talk to at least like 4
Probably
of them,
like, yeah.
like half of them.
Yeah.
And we're always asking each other questions or, you know, opinions, or, you know, they post something and I'm like, oh, yeah, that makes sense.
Like that,
you know?
yeah,
Okay.
kind of helpful.
But yeah, it's never a competition. It's always like we are all trying to get up there. You know, like,
and then we can help each
we
other
help
to
each
get
other.
to that point too,
Yeah.
because it does feel better when you do it with somebody else, because it's gonna be too lonely at the top by yourself.
We always would say like Marina is goals, like that is what we like.
Oh,
you know, want to.
you can do way better than that for sure.
We're all gonna get up there.
Exactly.
Yeah, we're all gonna
And
get up
exceed that for sure. Jasmine's information gonna be under the video, like I said. So you can follow her, message her. She comes visit sometimes when I do have other classes, so she helped me with a lot of classes too. So you might meet her in the studio sometime.
there.
Yeah, and yeah, that's it.
Yeah.